It's Andrew Schatkin showtime. Andrew, what's our topic for today?
Today is a very unpopular, misunderstood topic. It's a reality. I feel I should do my best to inform people of this reality. And what I'm going to talk about is sin and salvation. These are Christian concepts which our society not only doesn't want to hear, but finds objectionable and unpleasant. However, I'd like to talk about them because I think they're important. Most people, first of all, in our modern society, don't even think about the concept of sin. Actually, I believe, Neil, most people, if they think somebody does something wrong, will attribute it to their genetics, their environment, being poor. The great emphasis on helping poorer people, Neil. And they will say that a person does something, they can't help it. Don't you think a lot of people say that?
Exactly.
However, the Christian view is that it's a little bit about this reality is somewhat different. First of all, it is obviously, you have to ask the question, if you believe in God, and I do, I believe in Christ, you don't have to. I mean, you could be an atheist as far as I'm concerned, it's fine. But I have to say this, the question that all of us have to ask in connection with this is, if there's a God, why does he permit the existence of gross, disgusting, unbelievable evil, such as the Holocaust?
Why? Why does it?
Because I'll tell you what, because he wants human beings to voluntarily have a relationship with him. And he gives us, from the very beginning, if you look at the story of the fall, is a very significant narrative. It's a terribly significant narrative because it addresses the issue as to how evil came into the world. And it came into the world because God gives us freedom. He wants free beings. He doesn't want robots, okay?
Right, exactly.
He wants people that will have a relationship with him. And if you talk about your relationship with your children, Neil, with your wife, with your friends, you have to ask yourself, what is the basis of the relationship? It's volunteer. The basis is love, and love is a voluntary choice. You're not going to love, a woman is not going to love somebody who rapes her. A kid is not going to love a parent that abuses him. It has to be given. It has to be mutually given and understood. And therefore, why is it there is sin in the world? Because the reality is that God doesn't want, I think, that if there is a God, and I think there is, and his name is Jesus, but you don't have to believe that, that's fine. He doesn't force us on ourselves. That's the thing about Jesus and Christianity, no force, no telling people you gotta go to church, you gotta wear a suit. Nobody makes anybody wear suits in church, do they?
No, they don't.
You can come in a t-shirt.
Exactly.
Nobody really makes an issue of it. And I don't think God or Christ makes an issue of it. But I'll say this, that sin is a result of humanity's failure. It is our failure. It's my failure. It's your failure. It's everybody's failure. And the reason why evil and sin come into the world, and there is a great deal of evil in the world, Neil, people who do not recognize the reality of evil and sin, frankly, they ought to get a new pair of glasses. They ought to understand the Russian, that Stalin killed 5 million middle-class farmers who wouldn't collectivize. 5 million Russian kulaks were slaughtered by Stalin. Hitler murdered 8 million Jews. The Ottoman Empire, the Turkish Empire, ordered 2 million Armenians. So you have to ask yourself, if you don't believe in the existence of evil and sin, frankly, I think you ought to see a psychiatrist.
Who doesn't believe that, Andrew?
Many people don't, because they don't want to hear it. And more, the issue of sin is not merely gross violations. The big time sinners like Hitler and Stalin, they're not the leaders. The big time sinners, I have to say this, Neil, I include myself, are you and me and every human being that has ever lived, because we are motivated by our selfishness, by our self-love, by our self, and our pride. The pride of Adam and Eve, our first marriage. It's a story, it's an allegory maybe, but it's a very significant allegory. That pride led to the destruction of the human race. And that pride was because they would not recognize that God was the boss, and they were not. But as I say, sin is an issue of pride. It's an issue of self-love. It's
Yes.
an issue of self. The issue of not caring. It's an issue of indifference to the fate of other people. This is our Neil, ladies and gentlemen. Let's face it. If you know, this is our world. It is the reality of our world. Our world is a world encased in this quality called sin. If you don't want to believe in that, that's fine. But you better replace your glasses or get a brain transplant because it's true.
So you're just basically saying that some people believe they don't believe in God, don't believe there's sin in the world, and believes that this is just what it is, and that there's
I don't know what they think, but I'm
no
satisfied.
right and wrong in life.
Look, if you live long enough, you're going to recognize the truth of what I say. Maybe a young person in college is going to believe their professors that the liberal left is not happy with the concept of sin. Well, are they?
Exactly, you're right. So, Andrew, I wanted to update you. What's up? What's new with the books? What's happening there?
Oh, yes. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I've written 5, I think, good books that you'll like. There are essays on the Christian worldview, essays on faith, culture, politics, philosophy, and a book on the parables, as well as 2 legal books, select legal texts. I have plans for other books. I'm having a very, I think, happy to announce that my book on the Psalms, a commentary, is coming out at the end of May or beginning of June. I think you'll like it. I think it will be advertised and promoted. I think you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it. I have always, if any of you guys have been to Sunday school, and maybe a certain percentage have been, I remember memorizing parts of the Psalms. Psalm 1, Psalm 23. Every kid knew in my time Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. Every person knew that. Do you think that's true today? Neil?
You agree? They don't know the Psalms. Exactly. So that's
Do you
great.
think people know the 23rd Psalm today?
No, they don't. So
They don't.
some do, some don't. So Andrew Schatkin showed
I
up.
have a book on the Psalms coming out. I have a book on the miracles in the Bible coming out. I have a book on my blogs, which are literary, theological, and political blogs. A book on that, and I have a book on the commentary of the Book of Job, one of my favorite books of the Bible, one of my all-time favorites. I'm preparing a commentary on the Book of Job. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, rather than reading my books about theology in the Bible, read the Bible itself. You know what Mortimer Adler, Mortimer Adler wrote a great book for me. And I'm a big fan of books and literature,
All right,
Neil.
Shackinshow.com, Andrew. Shackinshow.com for more information.
Please consult me, call me. I welcome interchange. I welcome everybody's opinion. I really do.
All right. Okay, guys.
That's the whole problem today. Nobody wants to talk about it. Let me ask you, Neil.